All right, let's go ahead and get started. Howdy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sharkinbear, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be checking out The Secret of Weepstone. If you're not familiar with what this game is, according to the Steam description, in a hand-drawn black and white dungeon crawler RPG inspired by classic D&D of the 80s, roll dice, fight monsters, loot dungeons, embrace death, and unravel the secrets of Weepstone. I was originally going to overlook this demo, mostly because I thought this was going to be presented in more like a visual novel style, where there were static images, and basically you made decisions, and it basically turned out, show you the outcome of what you're playing based on your decision. Turns out this is actually more akin to like a dungeon crawler, like straight up, something along the lines of like Cyclopean, if you ever played that game that recently came out, really nice indie hit, or the Wizardry series, which is a little bit more famous if you're into the dungeon crawler sort of ways. That being said, we don't really have enough of these type of games, and after playing the demo the first time, I found a lot to really truly enjoy about this game. So that being said, if you like this sort of content, you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, and let me know what you think of the gameplay. I'll also leave a link down in the description if you would like to wishlist this game, or just maybe check out the demo for yourself. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get this out of the way. I will say one thing up front, so I do want to apologize about this. The volume is going to be very weird for this one. There is only one, or there are really two volume sliders here, and that's why the music is a little bit loud. The voices are probably going to come in quiet, but we only have master volume and SFX volumes. And this is kind of a little bit nutty, just mostly because of the fact the music is really loud and the voices are really low. And I do hope that whenever this game does officially release, we do have separate sliders for music to get that out of the way, just because the music can be a little bit overpowering. With that said out of the way, let's go ahead and get the intro, and here we go.
Nestled in the shadow of its imposing, now abandoned keep, sits the dwindling riverside village of Weepstone. But things were not always so. For in times gone by, a man from the east, known only as Raal, grew to power, waging a relentless campaign westward. After crossing the mountains into the kingdom of Talesworth, he established his seat of power and constructed a stronghold from which to oversee his lands. He called this stronghold Weepstone Keep. Many wondered what compelled this mysterious and seemingly unstoppable warrior to end his bloody campaign in this place. But the years were good to Weepstone and its people, their harvests unfailingly robust, and their industries the envy of neighbors both near and far. However, Raal would not live forever, and upon his death, his lands passed to his eldest son, Byron, and thus began the troubled times. Long past are the seasons of plenty for Weepstone and its people, whose fields now sit barren, the people forsaken by the good fortunes they once took for granted. To the astonishment of many, Byron abandoned Weepstone Keep for a modest manor on a hill near the town, and forbade anyone to return to its halls. Now the town barely survives, mostly as an unwelcome stop along a trade route used by merchants too impatient to travel the hospitable roads of the south. Only the trapped or the desperate continue to call this bleak place their home. Our story begins here, on a night of ill omen, as the people of Weepstone have been called to the tavern for reasons unknown.
Good people of Weepstone, I've summoned you here to discuss a matter of grave importance. My brother and your lord, Byron, has fallen ill.
All right.
He is rarely conscious. His nights are fraught with fevered dreams and terrible nightmares. The healers know not what ails him. In his half-waking state, he mumbles incoherently of Weepstone Keep, the castle that our father built, our childhood home. I can only hope that it is there where answers may lie. Are there any among you willing to delve into that forsaken place to find the source of Byron's torment? I will not lie. There is undoubtedly great danger waiting for any who venture there, in the form of both man and beast. While the keep and its contents have been forbidden since our exile, I hereby decree that any brave enough to take on this task may enter, explore, and importantly, keep what they may find within its walls. Who among you will take up this duty? I need 6 volunteers. Please, I would rather not have my hand forced to choose.
All right, and so now we are in control of basically our options here. So I will say right off the bat, I really do enjoy this menu. So essentially what we have here is a slew of characters we can have in our party. And that's basically everyone we see in front of us that's very well designed. You can see their faces, all that sort of jazz. Unfortunately for us, a lot of these characters are actually locked away in the demo, unavailable to use. So we're going to have to go with the characters that we don't have, or the ones that we have access to. So the ones we do have access to is this dwarf dude right here. It just says future class dwarf. He is a blacksmith, so we're going to go take him.
I said I would stick to plows and horseshoes.
And then we have a husband and wife duo here. One is a future class cleric, and the other one is Egbert Graham, the magic user. So we're going to go ahead and essentially take them as well.
I'm
And
always one to lend a hand.
you actually have to take
But I'll
one
have to see
and
what
the
Della
other
thinks
if you
about
take
it.
them at all.
We know the
Then we also probably need a
most,
frontline man. Probably
It's only right we try to help.
this fighter right here.
Okay.
I'm also going to opt to take Starla
what's the key?
Beverly, or Beverly probably, the
It is
elf,
beyond me to
and
make this
the kid.
choice.
I really don't think there are any other options. I think this is pretty much exactly everybody we can take. But you can see right here, we do have other characters that will be available. After you've selected your 6 volunteers, we can then journey into the keep. So let's go ahead and do that.
And so the unlikely party set out for the keep, arriving at the gates just as the evening light began to fail.
And I do have to say right off the bat, I do also like the classic D&D manual looking thing we have. And here we go, entering into the dungeon. I've already played through this once, so I kind of have a bearing of how things go. But I don't know if there's any sort of like procedurally generated things, or if this is going to be kind of locked in standard. It might be for the demo, who knows, and it could be different when the game comes out. But here we are in main control. As you can see, we have free roam ability of our characters. It's not a tile-based movement, such as wizardry and other dungeon crawlers like that. We have our characters up in the top left-hand corner. It displays their health points, as you can see, from the top left to the top row. Those guys have 6 points apiece, and the guys in the back row have 5 points apiece. We can open up our inventory as we swap between these characters. We basically have one inventory for everybody. We can also more or less check out the weapons they have equipped. This kid back here has a teddy bear, which is actually a pretty strong teddy bear. It says its damage is 1d6. If you don't know what that means, essentially that means whenever I do damage to an enemy, it's going to roll one six-sided dice. Whatever that dice lands on is how much damage we do. So if we roll a 6-sided dice and it lands on a 5, we will do 5 damage to the enemy. There's a thing based off hit chance as well, because we do have to see about hitting an enemy, but we'll explain that as we get in combat. And I'll also explain armor class, which is a very important facet of this character as well. But for the time being, let's deal with the room we are in. As we can see right now, we do have 2 doors we can try going through. We also have the scepter on the ground, and we also have this alcove portcullis.
The party lifts with their combined might, but can do little to move the steel portcullis. There must be another way.
So, using context clues, we'll look around the room right here. As we can see, we have 2 different statues. One does not have anything in his hand. The other one does have something in his hand. We can inspect this stone statue, as a matter of fact.
One can only assume the formidable visage on this statue is Rahl himself. The left hand holds a small shield, while the right hand holds a lion-headed scepter.
Cool. And then we can try to move the arm, and it'll give us a little information, or we can choose to do nothing. What happens if we try to move the arm?
The arm seems to be designed to act as a lever, and is already in the down position.
Excellent. So we do know it's in a downed position. So we come over here, we can come pick up this lion scepter, and we will just put it in our inventory like that. It is so whenever we do like things hey, who's putting this in the arm, such as like, hey, we're gonna come over here and we're gonna put the scepter in the arm. We currently have the kid in the bottom left. His square is highlighted. That means he's the one doing the actions right now. So if I want to change those, I can click on someone else's portrait.
This statue is Rahl himself. There seems to be something missing from this statue's hand, as though it's meant to grip an object.
Alright, so we're going to use the item. We can look for a trap, and that uses our wisdom stat. As you can see, if we open up our inventory, looks like we can't open up our inventory while doing this. Let's search for the traps, though. As you can see, as we like cycle through our different characters and their different names, each of them have a different percentage based off their stat to find specific things or for fails and successes. So it says right here, if we use this lady right here, she will search for traps, and she has a 40% chance to see if there's actually any traps. Changing characters when interacting with objects, you can change which character is doing the interacting. Exactly. So we're going to basically change around. Some characters are better at certain things on their attributes. Yeah, exactly. So as you can see right here, she is better with her wisdom for traps. And they're going to roll some dice. Graham leans into and closely examines the statue. I'll roll a wisdom ability test privately. Ability tests are based on a character's attributes such as wisdom or strength. The character must roll under a percentage based on the difficulty of the check. For example, if there is a 30% chance of success, they must roll a 30 or less. Okay. Sometimes a roll is done in private by the dungeon master, so the player will not know if they succeed or failed. So we're going to go here, going to click this one. It's rolling dice privately. Della searches thoroughly and is confident there are no traps. Probably. Alright. So now that we know that, I'm going to go ahead and select someone who's probably a little bit stronger, and we're going to go ahead and put this scepter in here. That strength really doesn't have anything to do with it just yet.
With a satisfying click.
But we do need to bring that arm down. So we're going to pull this arm, and he is going to essentially roll the dice, and he has a 45% chance to lower that arm. It was a 95. We failed. Ray Wyatt fails the dexterity test, taking 1 damage from the needle. However, the arm continues to move. So he did take 1 damage, so he is now down to 5 of 6 maximum health points right now. But in return, we did open this door, and it does give us a small potion, which when consumed restores 1 to 6 hit points. So we're going to want to keep on that on hand. Alright, so now that we've done that, basically explaining consumables and how to use them, but now we're just up to us to kind of go exploring a little bit. We have one door here, and we have, is this door unlockable? I'm pretty sure it's unlocked, yep, and it looks to be the same layout as when I was playing the demo before. If we hit M on the minimap, which the game will tell us to do, we'll basically open up one of our fantasy role-playing game dungeon module books here, and you can see a map of where we've been and what we've done. So I assume we should probably go through this left side here, and that's basically showing us the map that we just showed, and we're going to keep going on our way. I don't know if there will be traps eventually in the game, but sometimes, and especially in dungeons, if you play D&D, there are traps littered in the hallway, and you do want to kind of look around and make sure you don't find any sort of traps out and about. We have ourselves a door here. Let's go ahead and open this door, and we are coming to this room.
Spartan beds and matching foot chests hint at this room's use as a barrack of some kind. The ravages of looters and time have been unkind, leaving it in shambles. A makeshift structure built from bed frames dominates the rear of the chamber.
Alright. And if we look around here in the front of the room, we can see we have some additional weapons. We have a Morning Star here. Let's go ahead and pick that one up. Put that in there. And as you can see, that's a 1d6 for close range characters. So again, that means if we hit our enemy, we can roll 1 6-sided dice. And that will make it to where we can do up to 6 damage to an enemy. This one is a Rusty Spear, which is a 1d6 -1. So that means that since this is a degraded spear, whatever we roll, so like we roll a 6 on a 1d6, that -1 right there means that we would actually do 5 damage. So it's actually possible to do 0 damage on this one, because if we rolled a 1, that -1 would subtract it and make it a 0, if that makes any sense. Looks like we have a sling. This is a ranged weapon. It does 1d4. So this is something that allows a character to hit from the back row. So you see right here we have a front row. This is actually what's called front row. These guys have melee weapons. They will hit enemies that are directly in front of them. These are our backline guys, which means that they need ranged weapons. This guy has a cleaver, so he needs to have himself something he can hit from range. Because we have access to a Rusty Spear, we can give him this Rusty Spear, which is still better than his 1d4 -1 butcher's knife there. So this is 1d6 -1, it's still better. And he'll be able to hit from where he's standing in the back row. The kid over here, on the other hand, is using a teddy bear, which is a close range melee weapon. What we can do is we can take that off and we can give him that sling. So it may do less damage overall, potentially, but he can hit enemies while still being in the back line. And Della Graham, our housekeeper right now, she also has a sling, so she is good to go for the moment. Nothing in this chest. And it looks like we got a barricade over here. Let's go and head on over here.
The sound of small boots disturbs the quiet of the room as small figures burst forth from the haphazard barricade. They brandish crude weapons and seem particularly intent on defending their hideout.
All right. All right, and here goes our first bit of combat. This is initiative. First, we roll initiative to see who goes first. Your dice are black, and the enemy's dice are green. Whoever has the highest number here is basically who goes in combat first. All right, so we got a 5, they got a 3, so it means we go first. Your party is arranged up in 3 rows, front, middle, and back. Characters using melee weapons can only attack enemies directly in front of them. Reach weapons, spears, can attack up to 2 rows away, and range weapons can attack at any distance. All right. So if we click this melee weapon right here, we can then click on a target. Now choose an enemy, and a d20 will be rolled. The result must be higher than the enemy's armor class, AC to hit. Some modifiers may be added, such as a strength or a weapon bonus. So essentially what this means, as you can see right here, my character, for instance, Ray Wyatt, has an AC of 12. Whenever you're going to attack an enemy, you must first roll a 20-sided dice. So if I roll a 20-sided dice and I make it hit, for like if an enemy were trying to hit me, for instance, they were trying to hit Ray Wyatt, if they roll a 20-sided dice and their roll is a 12 or higher, you gotta meet it or beat it. That means that they would be able to attack Ray Wyatt. They would then, use their damage roll. So say they had like a hammer here, like I do. I think this is a 1d4. They would roll a 4-sided dice, and whatever that rolls is, say they rolled a 2, they would do 2 damage overall and lower me from 5 health points to 3 health points. Same thing with them. Whenever we attack them, we must first roll a 20-sided dice. We don't know what an enemy's armor count is until we figure it out ourselves by rolling dice and attempting to hit them. Once we've done that, we can kind of gauge what their armor class is and what we need to meet or beat in order to do that. If we roll below their AC, then it's called a miss and we don't do any damage whatsoever. So let's go ahead and do our first attack roll. We rolled an 18 plus 1, so we got a 19 for strength. Alright, and we did 3 damage to this guy, and he is near death. So, can we look at R? If I use equip, by the way, if you see, for instance, like this -1 right here in our weapon, this basically means that whenever we roll our dice as well, we'd also get a -1 on our dice roll. So if we rolled like a 20-sided dice and it landed on 19, it would really be an 18 because of that -1 on that dagger as well. So we're gonna go ahead and try to attack this guy. He's at near death. Can we meet or beat his AC? We don't know what his armor class is. That's a 3. And we missed, so we don't get to attack him. Alright, so now we're at Starla Beverly. Let's see if she can hit our target. We can also double click on the target to attack outright. We rolled an 18. That was enough to hit. And we are going to do 5 damage, 6 damage. That is a kill. That would have been a kill outright. Reached and ranged weapons. Although this character is not in front row, they have a weapon equipped. They can strike enemies from a distance. Alright, so we're going to use the kid to attack. He's got a pretty high AC as well, by the way. 13 is pretty crazy. So we rolled a 15 to hit with him. And he will just do 1 damage. So it's damaged outright. And let's see, this guy right here, he has a spear. We're going to attack this damaged target. He's hit from the back row. We got 11 minus 1's a 10, but that's still enough to hit this guy. We don't know what his AC is still, and we did 1 damage. He is badly hurt. And 1 more round this time with his wife. Can she finish it off with a sling? We got a miss. 7 is not high enough. Now that we've done that, it is now the enemy's turns to attempt to attack us. Right now, it looks like we still haven't figured out what their armor class is, but our AC is 10, so that 4 is a miss, or that 3 is a miss. He's attacking us. 17, that beats our 10 AC on this guy. He's rolling for damage. He's doing 4 damage to him. 3 damage. Half his health is gone already. Alright, that's a 13. That's another hit. Oh, man. He is taking a lot of damage, this guy right here. And that's a miss. 3, that's a 2. Okay, because he had a negative modifier in his weapon. Double-clicking an enemy. Yep, we already know that one. You can double-click enemies in range. And I'm going to go ahead and see if we can finish off this guy. We need to resolve this as fast as possible. We got an 18 for the hit. 2 for the damage. I think that's going to be a kill. That's 3 for the damage because we have a +1 from our strength. I'll explain how those bonuses work, by the way, after we get done with this combat. We got a 12. 13, okay. That's a 4, okay. Yeah, he's dead. Alright, nice. Magic scrolls are single-use items. Once used, the written spell vanishes. Arcane spell scrolls can only be used by magic users and elves. Divine scrolls are used by clerics. Your party members start at unskilled, level 0 common folk. Their true class and abilities remain dormant until they reach level 1. However, since this character has arcane potential, it's an elf or a magic user, they can use arcane scrolls at level 0. So I've added a magic missile scroll to your inventory. Use it by right-clicking it in your inventory and choosing Use Item. So here's the scroll. We'll use that one, and we'll just target this guy over here. And looks like we got 2 missiles going at him. Alright, that did 2 damage, 1 per missile. Since he's badly injured, let's go ahead and attack him with the kid. We got a 17 plus 3 from our dexterity. And we did 1 damage. Oh, near death. Not a kill, though. We got a hit. Yep, even with a 14, we still hit. We're going to do 6 damage, 5 damage. It's still a kill. I think these guys only have 4 health apiece. And let's see if we can finish off this last one with her. She got a 15 for her hit. And she's doing 4 damage. That's a straight kill right off the bat. Nice. And that's her first victory. Pretty awesome. Something to consider I might want to look at right here. We do have Kid, and Kid has some crazy AC. His armor class. You usually want the guys who are tankier on your front line. So I think I might actually swap this guy for this guy. And I'm going to have him with this melee weapon. And I might have this guy using the sling. Even though this guy is potentially a thief in the future. We're also going to have him use the... Actually, you know what? We're going to do something fun with him. So stat-wise over here, you can actually hover over the stats on the screen to basically get an idea what happens. So you can see right here, strength is a measure of physical might. Strength modifier is applied to a hit, and damage rolls with melee applied. So essentially, because he has a +1 in strength, which is actually not true. He should have a +2 in strength, because basically the way it works is you have stats from 1 to 20, and after you, 10 is like your middle ground, and every 2 stats after that gives you a +1 in the modifier. So if you're at 10, that's no modifier. At 12, that's +1. At 14, that's +2. At 15, that's or 16, that's +3, and all the way up to 20, which gives you a +5. So I wonder if these modifiers are a little bit different, or they work them differently in this game. This could also be from the weapon we have chosen. Nope, it isn't. I don't know how they determine their stats. But that is the way it is. And our throwing stuff, if we throw stuff, it's based off of our dexterity. So if he uses a ranged weapon, he's not getting any bonuses at all from the roll. But yeah, let's go check out what's over in this corner that they were defending. We do have a lever here. We'll go ahead and move this lever.
A grinding noise, followed by the sound of metal scraping on stone, echoes from deep within the keep.
Alright, so we got that moved out of the way, and then we also got a chest back here. We'll open this up. Looks like we found ourselves a +1 dagger, which gives us a 1d4 +1. So this has a potential to do 5 damage at maximum whenever we stab enemies, and if we roll a 1, it's still going to be at least a 2. We're going to go all the way back here in this room.
A foul odor pervades this place, a smell so heinous it is beyond description. A sitting board runs the length of the far wall, with 3 openings. Despite the buzzing flies, you hear the faintest sound of rushing water that seems to be coming from the farthest hole.
Alright, so we are basically here in their latrine, and he said there's the sound of rushing water coming from this last one. As you can hear, there's a whole bunch of flies, but also the sound of rushing water. We can inspect this.
Peering into the opening shows a drop that leads out of sight and into absolute darkness, farther than any sane person would attempt to climb, unless, of course, they wished for certain death. You hear the sound of rushing water coming from below.
Alright, so they at least warn us that if we go down this hole, There's certain death, but they're letting us choose to do different things here. We can even choose to toss a rock and see how it lands. Honestly, we could give it a try too. We could even, if we really truly wanted, we could take our guy Tatum Harlow here and ask him to climb in and see if there's anything secret in there. And unfortunately for us,
down in desperation, but they receive no reply.
Yep. Unfortunately for us, Tatum did eat it big time. Plunged 70 yards into a subterranean river, but we do have something cool here, and this is a very interesting thing for this game. Death. Untimely, death is not unusual in the land of Weepstone, and believe it or not, it's not all bad. When the people of Weepstone die, they convey otherworldly boons called mortal favors upon their friends and loved ones. Each character has a unique mortal favor. They vary widely, and little is known of their origin or cause. So in this case now, since Tatum Harlow has died, our new boon that we got for him is all secret rolls are now rolled visibly, and adjacent rooms are mapped through walls. So now that he's dead, he's in our party. Technically, we still have his corpse, which is kind of funny, because then we can take his corpse and do stuff like this. Over here, we have another door right across from where we were at. I can interact with this door.
This door is wedged shut by the damp and refuses to open, despite your best efforts.
But what we could do, we could attempt to hack the door down. We could attempt to have someone basically axe the door down, or we could take Tatum's body and use it as a ram and break the door down. And just like that, we are inside
Though
this
humble,
room.
These quarters were clearly reserved for a captain or leader of the keep's guard. The contents of this room appear mostly untouched over the years, as various papers and a book sit undisturbed upon a wooden desk.
Alright, we can come in here and look at stuff. Captain's journal.
My thoughts of late are greatly troubled, and my faith in our Lord falters. That priestess, Lorona, and her jealously guarded activities beneath the keep bring me great concern. If the captain of his lord's guard is not permitted to venture below to the Undercroft, one can only imagine why.
Alright, well, the captain is very concerned about a priestess named Lorona. I'll open this basic chest, and we get a scroll of lightning, a crackling parchment infused with arcane energies. When unfurled, unleashes a bolt of searing lightning upon its target, doing 1d4 magic damage. Put that away in our inventory, and we can go this way. Check out this hallway. I really love this black-white thing. Kind of reminds me of this dungeon crawler called Cryptomancer.
This door is not locked, but it refuses all attempts to open it.
Alright, and we could have our elf lady, Starla Beverly, try to listen.
No discernible sounds come from beyond the door.
And if we attempt to hit this door, nothing's going to happen. I don't want to cause any damage to myself, so we're not going to do that just yet. We do have a locked gate there. We'll come back to that one in a second.
This stately but smaller hall seems to have served as a gallery of sorts. Crumbled detritus of carved busts and toppled plinths lie in shambles across the floor. The only remnants that hint at the original grandeur of this place are the large tapestries that still hang on the opposing walls, dominating the space.
Alright. And we can even come in here and inspect these murals. I'm not going to because they're kind of a little bit long-winded. But I do love the artwork, though. That is some pretty awesome artwork, if I do say so myself. Come through this door here, and let's get our bearings, checking out the rest of this room. If we take it right here, and again, you can check your map at any point in time. We're right here. This is the entrance, so if I come over here, I can see a door. And we already opened it, but this takes us back to the main little area we came in at. So I'll head down these stairs over here. Heading further down into the keep. Looks like we have a door right here. Unfortunately for us,
this door is locked and won't budge.
Yeah. It also looks like we can use an item though, but we don't have anything that could be used on a door. Like even if I use a weapon,
That item doesn't
it's not going to work there. So we'll come back to this one in a second. Oh, although, by the way,
This door is locked.
we can listen. You hear soft chittering followed by the clatter of metal and stone. Okay, so we'll do nothing there. Let's go ahead and work our way down to the door on the end.
The smith's quarters are Spartan and humble, but must have once been a comfortable respite from the heat and ringing of the forge after a long day's labors.
And by the way, I do want to point out that whenever they bring up a different thing, you can actually see that each of the rooms are numbered. So like whenever I was talking about the smith quarters, it actually numbered at 12. Looks like we have ourselves a key mold here, a small hardened clay mold carefully shaped to cast a metal key. We're gonna pick that up, put it in our inventory, and we can even read the smithy's note.
Oh, I'm a daft, blasted idiot. I just can't seem to keep my head on straight anymore these days. 1. Forge the armory key for the 3rd time this year. 2. Finish up Larona's set of fancy daggers. 3. Ask the apothecary about these blasted nightmares.
Alright. So someone was also having some blasted nightmares, just like the guy who sent us here.
The large forge at the center of this room seems long dormant, but the smell of coke and coal still permeates every inch. Crates, barrels, and scattered ashes are scant reminders that this was once the beating heart of the keep.
Alright. So now that we're in here, obviously we're in a forge. Looks like we have somewhere to place some mold. We'll go ahead and put our mold in this indentation. You just drag it over here, click it, and now it looks like we have some work to do in order to make that key. Like, come over here in the corner, there should be some, yep, there's some steel ingots we'll put here. Again, this is all stuff I discovered on my own, but obviously you'll figure it out on your own as well. We're going to go ahead and find this bucket, and we'll put that metal ingot in that bucket. And I really like this interactivity because it really asks you to kind of figure this out on your own. We'll go ahead and light this fire.
Lighting the forge with your torch. It is indeed lit, but only just.
And now we have ourselves over here some bellows, and bellows will basically get that fire hotter.
The forge begins heating up as you pump the bellows, but the embers remain quite cold.
Alright, let's go ahead and do it again.
As more air pumps into the forge, you begin feeling some heat.
Alright, let's do it one more time.
The forge is as hot as it's going to get. The heat feels good in this cold, forgotten place.
Alright, and just like that, the ore melts down. It's pouring into the key mold, and we now have ourselves
As
a
the ingot
key.
begins to melt, the steel slowly oozes into the mold. After a few minutes, the newly forged key is just barely cool enough to handle.
Alright, let's go ahead and take up our key. Put it in our inventory. And there is one more door back here in the corner. Not lose sight of this door back here.
A filthy, disheveled man holding a knife cowers in the corner while eyeing you cautiously. Makeshift bedding and various personal effects lie in disarray. The smell is pungent.
What are you lot doing in here?
Looks like we have a variety of answers we can give him. I'm assuming that based on how we talk to him, we have different outcomes. I'm going to go with the one that I went with, though, earlier, just because it does play out well for us. We could say we're on the mission on behalf of the Lord of the Weepstone, or his brother, at least.
Curse that place and everyone in it. Like them bastards were more than happy to see the back of Old Creek.
Let's see, but we came from Weepstone. What have you got against people of Weepstone? Have you found anything out of the ordinary in the keep? Lord Byron has fallen ill and his brother thinks that the cause might be here in the keep. Do you have any clue what it might be? I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, if there's any justice, it's his comeuppance for letting the town fall apart. But no, I haven't heard any about that.
Alright, well, there's a long shot, but you're not somehow a ghost. There's safety numbers, you shouldn't be in here alone. Would you like to join our party? No, well, it's nice to meet you, Craig. Best of luck out here. Well, we did lose a party member, so it was nice to have another one back.
Sure. If you'll, have Old Creek.
We'll do it, and now we have ourselves a new party member. As you can see right there, we still do have a dead body in our party, so now it puts Krieg in the back row. But if we want, what we can do is we can actually go over here, select Krieg, hit move, and actually get him to swap places with the dead body. So now the dead body's in the back row. It looks like Krieg doesn't really have much in the way of a ranged weapon. What is he? He's actually using a dagger. Let's give him at least that dagger. And I don't think anybody else has a ranged weapon, so we're gonna have to find him one for sure. If not, then we're just gonna have a dude who can't attack at all from there. And that's basically bringing up the moving thing. We're gonna just do it for the tutorial. Alright, now we can venture on. And now that we have that key made, we can think of places where we need to use that key. And of course, if we just go over here one room over, this door over here wouldn't open unless we had something.
This door is locked and won't budge.
But if we use the key, there we go.
Your entrance startles the large, scuttling creature that seems to have been nibbling on what remains of an axe blade. It rears up in surprise, emitting an eerie, chittering noise.
And like that, we're in our next combat. Seems as though he rolled one better than us, so he's got a chance to attack first. He has 2 hit dice, so whenever he hits somebody, he's going to hit him twice. He hit a 16 on our 10. Starla's Heritage Short Sword is destroyed by corrosion. Okay, I think he just outright destroyed her weapon. He's attacking a second time. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, it is a miss. And now that we're on attack, we can go ahead and use Ray Wyatt to go ahead and attack this guy. We'll go ahead and just do a normal attack. An 11 hit. An 11 does hit. We'll roll our attack damage for 2 damage. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and use Kid to attack him with his teddy bear. Is that what that is? Is it 9? Is a miss. Okay, so it must have at least an AC of 10 probably. We need a meet or beat an AC of 10. We need to equip a new weapon on her. We can go ahead and do this Morning Star here. But whenever we equip a new weapon on her, that does take a turn, so she lost her turn to attack. We do have to pass because he cannot hit. Yeah. You can use right click or press escape to cancel target selection. Okay. We'll go ahead and pass. We'll attack with this guy with a spear. And that's a miss. We're missing all over the place. What about her? Will she hit? Oh, she will hit. And she'll do 3 damage. That's a pretty good, decent amount of damage. Now it's the enemy's turn. Corrode metal. Oh no, he's looking to... Oh, did he destroy my weapon? Oh, wait. Wait, why did we avoid the corrosion? It did hit somebody. It hit Kid for 1 damage. I'll take it. Oh, but it had a -1. Oh, that's probably why the corrode missed, because it was a -1 to that. Nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and take him. Attack with Ray. That's a miss. Kid, come on. Do some damage. Ooh, we rolled a 19. If you roll a 20, it is called a critical, and you instantly do maximum damage. And we'll go ahead and attack with our mace here. That's a 12. That's a hit. 13 for a hit. Nice. And we'll do another 2 damage. Oh, +1. That's 3. Okay. Badly hurt. This thing is almost dead. We'll pass with Krieg again. Attack with that spear. That's a miss. And that's a miss as well. Looks like this guy has 2 more chances to hurt us on this next turn. He's going to try to destroy our weapon again. 3 is a miss. And he's attacking the girl. That is a hit for 3 damage. That's half her health. Alright, we need to finish this battle off. That's a hit. For 5 damage? 5 damage. Alright, that should be a kill. No, not a kill. Now it's near death. Miss. Alright. Miss. Okay. We got 2 more chances to hit because Crick again can't attack unless we move. But moving is going to take a turn, so it's not worth it. 14. It's a hit. 13. Okay, it's got a -1 because of the spear, probably. That is 1 damage. Not enough to kill. That's a hit. And 2. Okay. That's dead. Okay, nice.
The earthy smell of rusting metal and leather gone to rot fill this chamber that clearly once served as an armory. Mouldering armor and rusting weapons sit in chaotic piles, strewn without care and long forgotten.
Alright, well, the good thing is we do have some shields here. What we can do is put this on our characters, and it's going to give us an additional armor class. So whereas his armor class was 12 before, it is now 13. And I believe there's another shield in here. We'll take that one. And I might actually just slap this. You know, we'll put it on her. We'll make her slightly tankier as well. And let's see. That's D6. What's your hammer? That's a D4. Let's give him one of these maces as well, so he has a chance to do greater damage. We have another rusty spear. We don't know when we'll need it. Oh, we'll actually give this to Krieg. There we go. Now he can actually hit from the back row and actually contribute to combat. And we do have another lever on the wall, so go ahead and activate this.
A grinding noise, followed by the sound of metal scraping on stone, echoes from deep within the keep.
All right. Now, I am tempted to actually use our potion on Starla Beverly, our elf in the front row, because she is missing half her health. And it's only going to take her 1 hit to die if the enemy gets lucky. So this might be what I do. It's going to open up our inventory. I'm going to click on her, and I'm going to have her use it. And that actually maxed her out. So she's back at full health, which is really nice. Alright, now I came to this side of the keep because there was originally a gate here, but activating these 2 levers, one that we found over here and one that we found in this room, unlocked this metal gate. So we can go ahead and head on down this hallway. It looks like we're heading into this courtyard over here.
A large, barren courtyard opens before you, complete with mature trees and cobblestone walkways. As you cross the threshold, a sprinkling of pebbles and dust rain down from above. From atop the towering walls surrounding the courtyard, a group of screeching kobolds vault the parapets and descend upon you.
So it looks like we actually got pretty much ambushed, but it looks like we actually get to attack first, which is really nice. And yeah, we can just go ahead and get straight up attack them. That's a 13 to hit. I don't know what the AC on these things are, but we at least hit him that. Ooh, 6 damage. That's a kill. These guys only have like 4 or 5 hit points themselves as well. We'll go ahead and hit him. That's a 15. That's definitely going to hit. On a 6-sided dice, we're only doing 1 damage though. That kind of sucks. With her, we could attack with a 6-sided dice, or we could try. You know what? I'll actually attack with her. We're going to use the lady in the back row, or the dude in the back row, the husband. He can use a magic scroll. That's another 5 damage. That's going to be kill. 6 damage. Alright, Krieg can actually attack now. That's a hit as well. He is a beast. And he is going to roll for 1 damage, 2 damage total. Nice. I'm going to use something cool with this guy. Let's go ahead and go in our inventory. I'm going to use this. And we're going to attack this guy for 3 damage. We're going to use our lightning bolt. He's near death as well. Let's go ahead and hit this guy with the wife. Oh, that's a 2. That's a miss. Now it's their turn to attack us. They get to attack once per piece. That was a miss. You gotta beat 11. That's a miss as well. What are you gonna roll back here? Who are you attacking? Back row for 11. That's a miss as well. You hit a 3. Alright, let's go ahead and attack them again. That's a miss for 2. 3, yeah. We're just doing a whole bunch of whiffing up here. 9 is a hit. Okay. These things got really low AC. Go ahead and finish this guy off if we can. That's a hit for 2 damage. He's dead. And now we're on the last enemy. Surely these last 3 people here can actually hit this guy. That's a miss. Okay. Wish we could throw the corpse of our buddy at him. Ooh, there's an 18. 18, okay, because we had a -1 for 1 damage. 0 damage. Damn. That really sucks. That's a miss as well. Okay, so it didn't clear them out. Now he gets a chance to attack. Who's he going to attack? 13. Can he beat a 13? He manages to hit the 17 for 3 damage. Damn, we're already back at 2 health with him. Unfortunately, Kid might not make it. We're going to hit with a 9. Yeah, okay. For 5 damage. That's a kill. 6 damage total. That's definitely a kill. Alright. That's pretty much a good success. Now that we've done that, we could check all these doors. I know right though, this door and that door are both locked in a way that we can't open them. So we're going to take the only path that I know that we can take, which is this door.
You there? Who are you that dares enter this sacred place?
Let's see. We are here on behalf of the Lord of Weepstone to explore the keep. We would have you reveal your name first. We're here on behalf of Rawl. Whom do we address? Now, so the first time I came here, I chose this first response, and we're going to end up fighting this lady. She's kind of like a boss fight, but I am wondering if we can kind of lighter her. See, we're on behalf of Rawl. Whom do we address? Let's try that one.
Are you now? That would be quite the surprise. I would see you clearer. Come closer. Now. It would be rude to not introduce myself to guests. I am Laronia, the ever-faithful. You say you've come on behalf of Byron. How does he fare? Still a craven, I presume?
Oh, he's fallen ill, plagued by troubled dreams. That's not for you to know, stranger. You speak of him familiarly. Do you know our lord?
I know him well, as he does me. I don't know that he speaks of me often, though.
Sorry, I can't say we've heard of you.
I am untroubled by what fools do not know, but they make such bad company. Time to remedy that.
So so this result ends up in the same result as the one I had previously. Now we gotta do battle with her and her 3 skeletons. I'm assuming they'll probably attack first. Oh no, we actually get to attack first. I figured dice would be on their side. Alright, we'll start attacking. And for how much? Ooh, 6. That's gonna kill straight out. Alright, kid. You only got 2 health points left. Make it count. That's a miss. You didn't make that count at all. That's a 20. That's a crit. Maximum damage. 7 damage. Oh, nice. Alright, let's attack this last skeleton. It says, oh, there you go. We got an 18 on that one. What's the damage looking like? Only a 1. 2 damage total. Badly hurt, though. Is that enough to hit? Nope, 10 is not enough to hit. What about a 12? 12 will hit for 4 damage. Nice. Now Laronia is the last one left. She's going to cast Hold Person. Deal him a save versus spell magic. Oh, it's going to be lower than the 5, so she's now paralyzed for 2 turns. But fortunately for us, everybody is free to attack this lady. That's a 19. That's a dirty 20. A dirty 20 does not count as a crit. 7 damage. Outright. Man, we are absolutely destroying this woman. That's a 13. 13 hits. Doing 4 damage. She is badly hurt. Okay. 13. We know 13 hits, so 14 definitely is going to do it. 6 damage. 7 damage. She dead? She's dead. Wow, that was fast. That was way faster than the first time I fought her. It actually took me a couple more rounds than that one.
I must have misinterpreted the omens. Today, he calls for me. It matters not. I am only a servant in his grand designs.
And with that, the spark of life fades from the mad priestess, leaving behind naught but a dead-eyed rictus.
Alright, and that officially concludes the demo for us. We now may officially wishlist the game and go back to the main menu and join the Discord. That being said, that was a quick look at the Secrets of Weepstone. Honestly, I feel like this game has a lot of potential there. I know a lot of you are probably going to be bored by the fact that there isn't a lot going on other than just like attacking, but if you're familiar with D&D, you know that like the first couple levels are very dangerous because you have low health points, but as you go, you'll get more spells and abilities to use in combat. I'm assuming that's kind of what they're going to go for here as well. That being said, again, if you like this content and you want to see more videos like this here on the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of the game. And until next time, you guys take care, and I will catch you all in my next video. Later.